Hello once again, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome in here to Myrtle Beach once again. This is going to be Shaker Heights' final game here on the baseball fields of South Carolina, and Shaker Heights right now is either going to finish it off with a winning record, a losing record, or if it's a scrimmage, so it could end in a tie. It would be a record standing at .500, but we're going to see. Shaker Heights is in a very winnable game here against Williamstown, a squad that just barely was able to beat Chagrin Falls and did beat Mayfield by 3 in their scrimmages here today. I know here we are in Myrtle Beach of all these different high schools, but for Williamstown, they took on only Northeast Ohio squads. Again, Chagrin Falls, Mayfield, and now here they're taking on Shaker Heights at Crossley Field at the Ripken Experience. Shaker Heights won their first game 5-4 over Fairbanks, another Ohio school as well, but then they went on and 2 days ago, yesterday was an off day, 2 days ago they took on General McLean, a squad from out in, I believe it was Wisconsin, or excuse me, no, it was Pennsylvania. There were a squad that had taken on other hockey opponents of Shaker Heights like Meadville and McDowell, but no, Shaker Heights unfortunately did lose that game by 5. We had Casey Robinson on the mound, struggled early with a 3-run home run against him, and then struggled as he left the game as well in his final inning of outing. Then we saw Jeremy Silver come in. He pitched 5, 6, and 7. He did all right, though he still did give up a couple of runs in the late stages. Today we're going to be seeing a couple of the other guys that did play in the first game against Fairbanks, and that's Eli Stolfus, who's actually going to be starting us off in that different kind of role. Typically, he plays that role of the save situation of the closing pitcher, but today we're going to be seeing Eli Stolfus on the mound to start us off. Then Tyler Zek, who's typically in the starting spot, is actually going to be apparently relieving Eli Stolfus after he comes out of this one. So it'll be interesting to see. Tyler Zek, a guy that is not in that position often. Eli Stolfus, a guy early on, not typically in that position either, but hopefully they're just able to come out there and throw some strikes up against the Braves of Williamstown. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shaker Heights going to start us off with the bats. They are the away squad here today. We'll see how it goes. Shaker Heights in their red tops, white pants with red stripes down the piping. Williamstown in the all-white pinstripe look, and we'll see who's able to get the W. And Williamstown looking, after they beat the first 2 Northeast Ohio squads, are looking for the clean sweep here in Myrtle Beach against the Ohio schools, while Shaker Heights fighting for the winning record. Thanks for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call here from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to be right here with you with the play-by-play. Softball also going down. We'll update you as that's going along as well, though here we are covering the baseball. Shaker Heights looking for a big-time W, obviously, with the loss to the Pennsylvania squad. They didn't look too comfortable late in the game. Of course, when are you ever comfortable with a loss? But still, it was, as we were saying, that was their starting pitcher and the starting guy supposed to go next week in their first game of the regular season. This is going to be Shaker Heights' final scrimmage, and we will see how they are able to fare and if they can get a little bit of that momentum moving forward. Shaker Heights so far has had a couple of scrimmages already, some stuff against Beechwood. They had the scrimmage against North Ridgeville. And of course, here they're 2 scrimmages where they have gone 1-1. So, especially if you're Shaker Heights winning those first 3 scrimmages against Beechwood, Ridgeville, and Fairbanks, you'll want to end off your scrimmages on a high note and get that momentum when you come back home, and we're going to see if that happens. Of course, conditions are going to be a little different. It's a sunny, blue sky day here in South Carolina, but again, Shaker Heights just wants that momentum. On the softball side of things, they're looking for the momentum too. They've gone 0 for 2, though yesterday had a really, really solid game, stayed in it till the very end against the state runner-up of New Jersey, or excuse me, of Virginia. I'm mixing up my states. That was the state runner-up 4 times back-to-back in the state of Virginia. And Shaker Heights was able to stick with them to the very end, and so that is a big, big positive for the softball squad. Amelia Chevreau, Scout Harvey, Emerson Miller all had good games in the field just next to us here, the West Side grounds phenomenal showing from Shaker Heights softball. And again, that's the kind of momentum they want to take into today as well. And hopefully they're going to be able to scratch out a win. We're going to try to tell you the story of that game as well as this one goes along. Nate Landever is going to get your order started off here today. In the on-deck circle is going to be Michael Coxon, and I believe Aaron Neiman is going to be in that 3 spot once again. So Landever, Coxon, and Neiman going to be your starting 3, just as we saw in that win against Fairbanks, and that's honestly a really solid decision that time from head coach Stephen English, especially after how they started it off against Fairbanks with a 4-run first inning. Keeping the order at where it was that day might just be the move. So Nate Landever getting set in the left-handed hitter's box. First pitch coming to him, and this one in there for strike 1. We are underway here from Crosley Field at the Ripken Experience in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call once again here under the blue, lovely, warm conditions. Nate Landever fouls this one, a quick shot off the bat over to the Red Raider dugout. Luckily, a bit too low. Might have actually escaped out of the turf field, but regardless, we're going to play on with a new ball. Nate Landever already in an 0-2 hole here in his first AB. Next pitch over to him. This one, a tepper over to second. That one's going to take a slow bounce to him. Landever could be able to beat it out, but oh, they say they just got him. Landever thought he might have had it, but no, the infield guy over on the first baseline said he is out. Nate Landever taking a jog back over to the dugout. Michael Coxon, a guy that had the RBI double to give Shaker the lead early on in that game against Fairbanks. Started him off right. Here Michael Coxon with a big swing, trying to do the same thing here. Fortunately for him, the swing and a miss, so we'll do this one at 0-1. Right now, game changer not giving me the roster for the other side, so we're just going to go with number 34. And once again, number 34 lays one in there for strike number 2. So both of the batters find themselves in an 0-2 hole. Landever with a grounder over to second. We'll see how Coxon will respond in the hole. And this one down low. Good take for ball 1. 1 away, no runners on here in the early stages, top of the first. 4 o'clock was supposed to be your starting time. I believe the game before this one just went a little bit too over, and so Shaker wanted their practices. This one also off the mark, ball 2. Shaker Heights was able to get a little of infield, outfield practice out on defense. Took some BP swings before that even. So Shaker Heights should be warm, but not exactly tired. Here's the next pitch to Coxon on the 2-2. Here's a tapper foul over to the left side. That one going to be caught by Kranz. He'll deliver it back over to the pitcher. Again, number 34 of Williamstown. We're going to do it again on an even 2-2 count. 1 away. No score just yet. Here in the top of the first, though, Coxon, one of those guys that are able to put a swing on the bat that can change the complexion of the ball game early on. Here's another 2-2. This one cut on. This one lined into left center. That one's going to get down a base knock for Michael Coxon. He's going to stay put at first, be content with the single, and Shaker Heights gets their first hit on the box score. So how about that? Michael Coxon, just like how it went down in the Fairbanks game, Michael Coxon will start it off with a hit and give Shaker Heights a little bit of offensive momentum. Aaron Neiman, the guy that we really got to see get started now up in the left-handed batter's box. Number 21 on his jersey. Here's the first pitch to him. That one just catching on the outside half. That's going to be strike 1 to him. Neiman, a guy that Shaker Heights is hoping can really be that next guy to be their consistent hitter, be that kind of Will Tagan kind of kid. Here's the next pitch to him. Here's a grounder over to left. That's going to get through the gap. Michael Coxon going around second, but stayed put. And so back-to-back hits put 2 men on, 1 in scoring position for Braden White, the power hitter of the Red Raiders. That moves Coxon up 90 feet. He's on second. Aaron Neiman takes his spot at first. Braden White looking for his very first home run on the scrimmages. And we'll see. Luckily from Braden White, we've been seeing some solid contact hits. And that wouldn't hurt here either. First pitch to Braden White, a big swing and a miss, and he was looking for that go-ahead home run with a swing like that. But yeah, Braden White right now through the last 2 scrimmages, or actually I should say through the first 2 Myrtle Beach scrimmages. This one gonna get away from the catcher. Michael Coxon gonna make his way to third, and Neiman advances 90 up as well. 2 men now go into scoring position as that one just missed him. Right now, Braden White rocking a 200 average over the 2 games, so of course nothing crazy there, but keep in mind only 5 at-bats with a hit. And another thing to keep in mind is that he walked in another plate appearance as well. So out of the 6 times he's been up to the plate, he's gotten on base twice. I know it's only a walk and a single, but if that's something we see more out of Braden White, that's going to be a big-time deal. I know he's the power guy. That's why he's in the 4 spot all the time. But if he really gets going and he becomes a consistent hitter, period, he's going to be a dangerous guy for the Red Raider lineup. 1-1 the count. Here it comes. That one in there. Strike 2. 1-2 goes your count. 1 away. 2 guys on in scoring position with Michael Coxon at third. Over at second, Aaron Neiman. Braden White staring down the pitcher. This one taking a long time, and eventually Braden White going to call for time. That one took too long for his comfort. And so he steps back into the right-handed batter's box. 1-2 the count. 2 men on, 1 away. And here's the throw on the third. Michael Coxon caught up in a rundown. Oh, no! Missed the third baseman, so Coxon going to score. Neiman taking third as the pitchers throw over to third. Missed the mark, and so on a little bit of an error. Coxon going to score run number 1 for the Red Raiders. If that had been on the mark, Coxon would have been caught up between the catcher and third baseman, but luckily for him, the throw just wasn't there. And so we still are here at a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and here comes the delivery. This one misses the mark as well. Neiman thought about it, but it took a harsh bounce off the backstop, got to the catcher quickly. Neiman thought better and stayed back over at third. So still 2 strikes on Braden White. It's going to move it up to an even count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away, runner on third. RBI situation here for White. Here's the delivery, and here a swing and a miss, strike 3. So he'll go down swinging. At least it's better not going down looking like a lot of the offense have in their last 2 scrimmages.
Next up, number 5, Casey Robinson.
She might be at softball. They're still not? Is it just getting a late start, or what? Here, a tapper over to second. That time it's going to be a grounder, and that will be indeed a ground out from Casey Robinson. Good contact that time, just unable to get it through. So the second baseman on the first, and that is going to be your third out. Excuse the little delay in the broadcasting there. We're trying to figure out what's going on with the softball squad. The game changer hasn't started up yet. The reason being is because apparently that game running very, very late. And so Shaker Heights starting it off with 1 run coming from Michael Coxon on the throwing error from the pitcher, scoring in from third on the wild throw. So Shaker Heights, their offense starting up early, and that's what we're needing to see. But we'll see. Eli Stolfus, first time really on varsity in a starting position, so we'll see how it goes here in scrimmage number 3 in Myrtle Beach's Ripken experience. We'll be right back with you, Vaughn Ullum, on the call. after Michael Coxon's throw down the second to conclude warm-ups. We're going to be seeing our first pitches from Eli Stolfus in a starting pitcher position. And again, that might not seem like a whole ordeal, but last year his main spot was being that save situation guy. He would come in, throw lights out, and that would just be Eli Stolfus's night. It's not at all a bad night for a pitcher. But here, you're the starting guy. You're not exactly going to get the final call. And we'll see if that changes up a little bit of his mentality here in the late afternoon game. Here's his first pitch coming out about 4:30 in the late afternoon Eastern time here in Myrtle Beach. Again, perfect conditions out here. Your game time temp, 69 degrees out here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Lovely stuff. And now here's the next offering here. A swing and a tapper back into the backstop for a foul ball here. Shaker Heights up 1-0 after getting Michael Coxon to come across. And we'll see if Shaker Heights can protect this one-run lead. Eli Stolfus here with strike 2 called on number 21, the batter. And yeah, Eli Stolfus already cooking up something different. He's someone that came in through lights out in innings 6 and 7 against the Fairbanks Panthers. This one down low. Coxon, good job keeping that out in front of him. Even though no runners on, still something to keep in mind. Stolfus staring down the batter, number 21. Here comes the pitch, and this one lined into right. That one's going to get down right out in front of Jeremy Silver. He's going to throw this one in. Casey Robinson catching this one with a leap. If that one had gotten a little bit further, runner could have advanced over to second. Luckily not the case. So Eli Stolfus will give up the lead-off base hit. And right now, we're going to take a moment to tell you the defensive makeup after Eli Stolfus gives over this first pitch to the new batter. Runner taking the lead off of first. This one sent up into center field. Landever calling everybody off, making the easy grab, and sending this one back into the infield. So yeah, your defensive makeup here today, we have Jeremy Silver out there in right field, Landever back out in center. That's really just been his spot out here for the Red Raider squad, and also in that leadoff position as well. Leo Pevnik taking the spot back out in left. On the infield, Casey Robinson back at first, O'Shea Howard at second, Aaron Neiman, the other infielder in the middle infield. He's over at short here. Michael Coxon unable to make the throw as he lost it out in front of home plate. So the runner over at first will advance up to second. DeCierno, the batter. We're finally getting these names put in here. And now Stolfus getting set, checking the runner at second, the kick, the pitch in there. This one going to be a tapper over to O'Shea Howard. Hops right off the glove, and this is going to be a fielding error. If Howard can make the throw, there it comes. Did he apply the tag? No, he's safe over at home. So the leadoff guy safe at home plate, and suddenly this one is tied at 1 apiece here in inning number 1. That one's more than likely going to go down as a fielding error. That one looked a little routine, but didn't exactly work out for O'Shea Howard at second. Malachi Kranz also back over at third. So this is really the lineup that we saw against Fairbanks earlier on, especially with Coxon behind home plate. Here he's keeping the pitch out in front of him once more. Good block from Michael. The only real difference out here in the defensive lineup is going to be that Stolfus isn't in right field because, well, he's the guy on the mound, and Jeremy Silver is taking over for him over in the deep part of the ball field. Next pitch from Stolfus. That one going to be in there. Just caught the outside half of the plate. It's going to go down for strike 1. 1-1 goes your count. 1 away, runner on first. Here in the bottom of inning number 1. A lot of ones up there on the scoreboard. Shaker Heights with 2 hits right now. Williamstown only with a hit and a defensive error on Shaker Heights. They did give the defensive error to O'Shea Howard on that one to him at second. And so now here in the bottom of the first, opportunity for the Braves to take an early lead. We'll see if they can. Stolfus with the pitch. Coxon stands up quickly. Here's the throw and the tag down, and just a little far of a throw to the left side. Neiman unable to apply the tag in time. And DeCierno will take second, and now RBI opportunity for Kearney, the batter, number 27. Will be ruled as strike 2 looking. But again, the throwdown not going to work out. It will even the count back up to 2-2. This one going to get away from Michael Coxon. And a walk issued, or excuse, I suppose that was the payoff pitch as Kearney, sorry, the game changer is exactly correct here. Oh, Kearney hit by the pitch. That's what the matter was. Wasn't a walk, it just barely grazed him. So he takes first. DeCierno remains at second here, 1 away, 2 runners on for Williamstown. 1-1 your score. We'll see if Stolfus can handle this tough situation. Here, the throw on the second, trying to turn 2. Casey Robinson kept it out in front of him. They won't be able to get the out over at first. They will get the force out at second, so Kearney is out. Walker will make his way to first, and so there's going to be runners at the corners with 2 away. Walker at first. DeCierno moves 90 feet up to third. Eli Stolfus now up to 13 pitches. Here in inning number 1, not too bad. His 14th to come in just a moment. To batter number 3. And here, Coxon actually going to go down for the throw, and it'll make its way out into center field. The infielders were not in sync that time, and the tag out at second again as it comes in from Landever. Not going to work either. DeCierno, who's over at third, will advance in. And Williamstown will take the lead on 2 now defensive errors from Shaker Heights. So now still a runner in scoring position. It's going to move Walker up to second. From what I see on Game Changer, the softball team still yet to get underway over in Duncan Field here at the Ripken Experience. And this one also going to run in on the batter, number 3. So once again, it's going to be runners at first and second. Michael Coxon coming in to just calm the nerves down. Shaker already down by 1 now. Stolfus just clearly off of the rhythm. So now here, as we have a mound visit, we're going to step aside as Shaker Heights down by 1 with 2 away in the bottom of the first. Pissarro on first, Kearney at second for the Williamstown Braves, the squad of New Jersey. Davidson coming in, the left-handed batter's box. Righty-lefty matchup. Stolfus going to take a moment off the mound, get a new signal for the next upcoming pitch. But yeah, Shaker Heights here already down 2-1 in the bottom of the first. They started off with a 1-0 lead, but Stolfus just struggling now. And here a bunt down the third base line. It's going to go foul. First strike number 1. 2 away. Stolfus can easily work out of this with only a 1-run differential. But we will see. Davidson number 4, again a lefty hitter. Batting, I believe that's 7th in the lineup. Or excuse me, I believe that might be 8. Regardless, 0-1 count to him, and here's the next offering. And this one's sent over to Neiman. Neiman just going to go for the force out at second. He was set to turn 2, but that would have just been an unnecessary 4th out. So here, Shaker Heights down by 1. Maybe we're going to get a little huddle out of the dugout for this one. Shaker Heights looking to take that 1-run lead back, maybe even a little bit more in the top of inning number 2. They're down 2-1. with Eli Stolfus's little bit of a shaky performance to start us off, but we'll see how they bounce back in the next frame. We'll be right back. Malachi Kren set to lead things off here in the top half of the second inning. He's your sixth batter in the order, I do believe. And indeed, that would be the case. Wesley Holmes and Leo Pevnik also set to be due up behind him. Here, Kranz takes pitch number one on a little bit of an upstairs cheese from the pitcher. Still number 34 out there on the mound. And we will see how Kranz can deal this one. A guy that can work the count, and here he's going to even it up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out just yet as we're just getting started here in the second inning. From what we see on the Game Changer, the game at Duncan between the softball squads still yet to get underway, which is now 55 minutes late. But it's not over yet. That wait's still ongoing. Kranz now in a 1-2 count. Here's the next pitch. This one's sent. And a diving stop. No, it gets past him into center field. Kranz going around first, but be content with the single. And there we go, a leadoff knock from Malachi Kranz. We'll get a little appreciation from the first base coach, Joe Welsh. And with that, Wesley Holmes, even though the park announcer announced him as Wesley Lewis, it's Wesley Holmes, number 18. Still looking for his first knock in the scrimmages right now. Also wasn't able to get any through against Ridgeville, but the thing is he did indeed walk twice against North Ridgeville in his 3 plate appearances, but going 0 for 1. So he's been on base a couple of times, but we'll see if he's actually got enough to make the base knock happen here. Swing and a miss from number 18. And that evens it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Kranz over at first in a 2-1 ball game where the New Jersey school is leading. Again, they're looking for the sweep of Ohio schools. Here, the next pitch down low. That's going to get away from the catcher. And Malachi Kranz with a stand-up steal of second base. And now runner in scoring position, an RBI opportunity for Wesley Holmes now. Holmes steps back into the right-handed hitter's box with the New Balance cleats. Kranz taking the lead off of second. We'll see how he decides to play this one. 2-1 count to Holmes. The guy coming out of Gilmore Academy. Here's the next pitch off to him, and this one a tapper off the catcher. This one going to hit back into the brick backstop. Leo Pevnik in the on-deck circle going to go ahead and get it. Behind Pevnik would be Jeremy Silver, guy in the 8th spot, I believe. Indeed, that'd be the case. So now a 2-2 count to Wesley Holmes. Crans on second. This next pitch, ooh, looked inside, but called strike 3. So Holmes going to be returning off to the dugout with one away. Leo Pevnik will come up next.
Next up, number 3, Leo Punick.
Pevnik, a guy also in an RBI situation here. Also yet to get a base knock. He is 0 for 8 so far in his ABs. Though he did walk once as well against North Ridgeville and came around to score. The main issue with his ABs, he struck out twice against General McLean. So he's really just got to fight off some of these and put bat to ball. 1-0, the count off to Pevnik. One away with one guy in scoring position. RBI chance here for number 3. This one down low and outside for ball 2. Williamstown up 2-1 after a couple of defensive mistakes from the Shaker Heights side. Next pitch to Pevnik. That one going to be in there for strike 1. 2-1 goes your count. Understandable take that time from Pevnik after the back-to-back balls to begin it. But now you're going to use a bit more of your mentality. So we'll see how he's going to play this one. Krantz takes the further lead off of second, and now here ball 3 taken by Pevnik. 3-1 goes your count. We'll see if he's able to avoid an RBI opportunity, but still get on base. Let's see what happens with the left fielder. Check off to Krantz at second. Here comes the pitch, strike 2 on a big-time swing. Leo Pevnik looking to tie the game with a swing like that, maybe even take the lead, but unfortunately now we're going to be at a payoff pitch as we count this one down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And here comes the payoff pitch to Pevnik. This one outside. That one's going to escape out of the catcher's grasp. Krantz going to dive into third as well, as that one made its way into the backstop. Runners will be at the corners with 1 away, an RBI chance for Jeremy Silver.
Next up, number 17, Jeremy Silver.
We're the game over there. The softball game at Duncan Field just entered into the bottom of the 7th now in the game before Shakers. So, shoot, maybe if this one gets going quickly, maybe we're going to be able to bolt over and maybe call the ending of that one, because why not? Here's the pitch to Jeremy Silver there. Strike 1 called to Silver. Runners at the corners with Krantz at third. Leo Pevnik over there at first. He drew the walk in 6 pitches. He was in a payoff pitch situation. Here Silver will swing this one, send it into left field. Krantz looks like he's going to tag, and indeed he's going to bolt here to home. And no throw home as Krantz is in there with a head first slide. And this one's back to tied. It's 2-2. Pevnik remaining at first. He did not advance. Silver with a sacrifice fly out to left. And O'Shea Howard will be due up, the final guy in the 9-man batting order. Number 1 on the back of his jersey, number 9 in the order, takes strike number 1. O'Shea Howard against General McLean went 1 for 1. And that is 1 for 3 in all of his at-bats. Or excuse me, 1 for 2 in his 2 at-bats in Myrtle Beach. There, it looks like strike called. However, O'Shea Howard was able to walk against Fairbanks there in game 1. And, excuse me, strike 2. 0-2 pitch. This time going to be down low, taken by Howard. We'll see how Pevnik plays this one with 2 away and a 1-2 count. About to find out. Nate Landever in the on-deck circle. He represents the top of the order. We'll see if he gets the opportunity in the top of the 2nd to go back-to-back innings at the plate. Here, O'Shea Howard swings through this one, and it'll be a tapper over to 2nd. Handled quickly, and the throw on to 1st will be easily in time. And this one is tied as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Williamstown coming up to bat here. They're looking to reclaim their lead in the bottom of the second. Thanks for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Shaker Heights with a rocky start from the defensive side. Eli Stolfus will be returning to the mound here in inning number 2, however. They're looking to have Eli Stolfus go a little bit more distance here today, and now he's working to protect a tied 2-2 affair. This one in there for strike one. And the first pitch here in the bottom of the second. Shaker Heights' softball squad still yet to get going out there in Duncan Field. And we'll update you as that one goes along. Of course, here, as we're hired to, we're sticking with the baseball coverage. Down here, this one popped up in the right field. That one having some distance on it. Silver runs over and with great effort makes the run and grab out and right. So out one on 2 pitches here in the bottom of the second. 2-2 your score between Shaker Heights and Williamstown. Jeremy Silver grabbing the fly out. Eli Stolfus threw 18 pitches now. Has thrown 12 strikes, so not half bad at a 66% is the next pitch, and that'll up it a little bit more from 66. Number 6, the batter. Looks like the softball game getting set to go in 10 minutes. Here, Eli Stolfus in here. Oh, that one I think is going to get his hand a little bit. He took the swing at it, though, so it's going to go for strike 2. But yeah, that game over in Duncan Field was supposed to get going 15 minutes before this one. And even though Shaker Heights has gotten a late start to this game, here they are, bottom of inning number 2, and the other team hasn't even gotten started yet. Here, Michael Coxon grabbing this one there. Eli Stolfus almost got him up high, and actually game changer incorrect before. That's going to go as ball 2. Game changer a little shaky, so excuse my stats if today it's going a little rocky from the calls. Here Eli Stolfus with another pitch missing the mark. That time it's down low. But yeah, don't blame it on me. Blame it on Casey Robinson's little brother over there, controlling the game changer in the dugout. And here's the next pitch. Here, a swing and a miss from number 6. Oh, and this is what I'm talking about. That was actually strike 3. Didn't realize it on game changer. Said it was a 3-1 count, but there you go. It was supposed to be a payoff pitch that missed the mark. Lopez, now the batter, number 21, the leadoff guy. That started off the bottom of inning number 1 from the offensive side of the Braves. Here he's going to take for ball 1. Shaker Heights here with 3. It's already their name. Williamstown only at 1, but it was the defensive mistake that cost them the 2 runs. Here Eli Stolfus sends one that's popped up over to the right side, out of play. And so Lopez already deep, or excuse me, actually that evened it up at a 1-1 count. Stolfus here awaiting the call for Michael Coxon. Coxon standing a bit higher up, and indeed that was where the pitch was delivered, just a little bit up high. It's where they wanted it, but it's going to go as ball number 2. Lopez 1 for 1 on the day, started things out with a knock. Just an easy single. Here he's going to take strike 2 on the inside half, and so a lot of 2s up on the scoreboard now. 2-2 your score here in the second inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And we'll see how Stolfus plays it here. This one popped foul off to the right side once again. That one might hit the pond over there to the right side of the first baseline. Over to the right side, a pond. Over behind us, a pond. A lot of ponds out here. You see a lot of practice balls between the high school teams getting lost out to the water. Here's the next pitch from Stolfus. Here a tapper. This one going to be a tough make for Neiman. Neiman with the throw, and a beauty of a defensive play from Aaron Neiman. Made it happen over at short and ends this one early in the bottom of the second. 1, 2, 3 go down the Braves, and Shaker Heights protects the tied game at 2-2. Good work from Stolfus, but a phenomenal play there from Aaron Neiman, not letting Lopez make first. And with that, we go to inning number 3. Shaker Heights' offense set to return, and it's going to be Nate Landever, Michael Coxon, and Aaron Neiman due up. We'll be back. Vaughn Ullum on the call from Myrtle Beach. Nate Landever 0 for 1 on the day is going to start us off here in the top of the third. Here's the first pitch to him, but a swing and a miss from Nate Landever. Michael Coxon, the guy up behind him, he was able to get the base knock that actually allowed him to come all the way in and start the offense up and take the early lead 1-0. Shaker Heights with a run in each of the last 2 innings, while Williamstown got their only 2 in the first inning. Here, Nate Landever swung through strike 3, the throw on from the catcher, and there it will be ruled as an easy strikeout for number 34. Michael Coxon due up next, and again, he's 1 for 1 with a run to his name as well. And we'll see if he can keep laying it on these starting pitchers. Here's the first pitch to him, just up high, says the umpire. Been calling some of those upstairs pitches as strikes. That time he will not get the call. Number 34 out on the mound. Next dealing, this one fouled back into the net, or into the caging behind home plate. Netting actually starts a little up further. That one's going to be caging, and then a brick base for this ballpark. Michael Coxon with 1 away. Next dealing to him here, an inside pitch. That evens it up. Or excuse me, that's going to be a 2-1 count now. One away, 2-2 score in the top of the third. Nate Landever 0 for 2. Doesn't help out Michael Coxon here. This one a tap or foul off to the left side, but a bounce this time. Going to be taken in by the third baseman, DeCierno, in foul territory. So Michael Coxon needing to take that unfortunate jog back to home plate, and we're going to have to do it again. This time at a 2-strike count. We're even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Things still yet to get going over at the Ripken Experience for the softball squad. Shaker Heights as Michael Coxon takes strike 3 called. And so with that, the first 2 guys go down easily for the pitcher number 34. Aaron Neiman comes up next, a guy that, again, just needs to get going. But he started it off here with a single on the opposite side of the field, just shot the gap over between the shortstop and the third baseman. Here, a swing and a miss from Aaron Neiman. Got him cutting in down low. But yeah, Aaron Neiman 0 for 6 in the last 2 scrimmages here in Myrtle Beach. Now, I suppose 1 for 7. Here's the pitch. That one going to be down low. Good take. They tried to go to that same location down low in the middle of the plate, but this time Neiman knows better than to take the hack at it. Here's the next offering. Neiman will take the hack right where we just said he didn't. Number 34 continuing to attack that lower part of the zone. And so far, Neiman has swung at it twice, but held off once. Here, another pitch. That one going to be taken down low. That one was close, though. That was a tough take from Neiman, and we got a couple of groans out here from the Williamstown supporters. Understandably so. That one was incredibly close. Surprised he didn't get the call. So here we're evened up. 2-2 the count, 2 away. The pitch, this one going to be down low. Going to get away from the catcher, but he'll get back. Again, no runners on here for Mangolo, the catcher. The Braves looking to keep the Red Raiders off the board here and throw up the first 0 on the Shaker offense. And here it looks like they will as Aaron Neiman cut through. Strike 3, this one down in the dirt as well. So the tag applied by the catcher, Mangolo, and with that, Neiman is going to be the second victim of back-to-back strikeouts from the pitcher number 34. Shaker Heights still in a tied ball game here in inning number 3. We go down to the bottom half of the inning. Thank you very much for tuning in here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're back to it here in the bottom half of the third inning. Eli Stolfus, your starter here today for the Red Raiders, remains out there for Shaker Heights. Out there on the bump. He had a little bit of a struggle there in the first inning. Then in the second, he came in and shut them down. We'll see if it comes again. Shaker Heights' offense went down 1, 2, 3 in the upper half of the inning. Here, strike one called on the new batter, number 14. The second baseman here today. Shaker Heights into deadlock 2-2 here in the bottom half of the third. This one almost ran in and got number 14, but it's just going to miss him. But it also missed the strike zone. There's ball one. Number 14, 0 for 1 on the day so far. Next pitch to him. This one down low, and it's going to miss once again for another ball. Eli Stolfus, as we said, one of those guys that not used to the early innings of the baseball game. Of course, maybe if he's out in the field, but out on the mound, that's just not his typical spot. And here, ooh, just going to catch for strike two. That, I believe, even things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yes, indeed. Nobody out just yet as we're getting set here in a 2-2 ball game. Stolfus with a kick and the pitch here from the righty. This one upstairs. That moves us to a full count. Eli Stolfus now up to 35 pitches of the 35. It's been 21 hitting the zone. So only 3/5 of them are hitting the zone. We'll see. Here's the payoff pitch. That time in there. Strike 3 called for Eli Stolfus. Number 14 goes down looking. He's 0 for 2 now on the day. And in the bottom of the third, there's your first out. And Eli Stolfus is looking better out there on the mound. Really looking a lot more comfortable, though he's throwing a decent amount of pitches. Hopefully he's able to settle down to Cierno pretty easily. And here with a tipped strike into the glove of Michael Coxon. That one is going to start off the count right for Stolfus. That's the kind of thing we need to see. Next offering there, another swing and a miss from DeCierno. 0 for 1. Eli Stolfus looking to keep that going. Move him to 0 for 2. Shaker Heights and Williamstown 2-2 tie out here at Crosley Field. This pitch down low. Michael Coxon just able to get it back out in front of him in the throw on the first. He is out on another strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Eli Stolfus. We'll see if he's able to continue to lay him on. Maybe even strike out the side in order. We're about to find out for number 27, Kearney. I believe is the first baseman in today's game. Indeed, that's the case. So drop third strike results in 2 back-to-back Ks. Here, that one's going to catch the zone as well, says the umpire. Eli Stolfus now beginning to really find a rhythm here in the third inning, and that's, of course, if you're only giving up 2 in the first, that's not a half-bad outing. Here's the next pitch from Stolfus down low. No runners on, so Coxon takes the lazy jog up past home plate to get the ball back in his possession. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kearney. 2 away, no runners on. Stolfus dominant here in the bottom of the third. With the back-to-back Ks, he's looking to strike out the side. Here's the next pitch. That one just going to miss the mark. 2-1 goes your count. Things did finally get started out there in Duncan Field. Scout Harvey back up on the mound for the Shaker Heights softball squad. She'll have been starting all 3 of their scrimmages, and she has been absolutely lights out as well. Here up into the netting goes the foul tip. Shaker Heights softball squad playing back-to-back teams that have been runner-ups of the respective state they have been in. Yesterday it was the runner-up of the state of Virginia. The day before that, runner-up of the state of Wisconsin. First one, not too fun of a game for those players, but the next game, they were in it till the very end. Though they did lose by 6, this one down low. It's going to go for ball 3. Move to a payoff pitch with 2 away. Still no runners on. It's going to be interesting to see how Shaker Heights softball is going to approach this game here today. They could use some momentum heading back home. Here's the pitch from Stolfus, swing, and this one going to be fair off to Casey Robinson, who takes the grounder and taps on the first for out. number 3. 1, 2, 3, go the Williamstown Braves. And so there is inning number 3 coming to a close. We'll come to the middle inning in just a moment when we return 2-2 tied between Shaker Heights and the New Jersey squad. Braden White to lead things off here in the middle inning. Inning number 4, tied ball game here at Crosley Field between the Red Raiders of Shaker Heights and the Braves of Williamstown. Braden White, a big power guy. He comes into the right-handed batter's box. We'll see how he deals in the leadoff spot here. Pitch, thought taken in. That umpire has been calling a lot of the pitches inside, so as a batter, you just got to be ready for that. You got to be ready to swing it. He's been rather consistent with those inside strike calls. Here, the next pitch down low. That's going to be a ball. Ball 1. We go to an even count. Now here, the next pitch swung through from Braden White over there in Duncan Field. They've concluded the top half of inning number 1. Scout Harvey already starting it out. Lights out. Here, strike 3 called on Braden White. He knew it too, as he taps the bat to the tip of his right foot and takes the unfortunate walk back to the dugout. Casey Robinson up next, due up as well as the 6th guy, Malachi Kranz, who also came around to score as well. But yeah, Scout Harvey over there in Duncan Field sent them down 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts there in the top half of inning number 1. We'll see how that offense can get going. As for them, due up Thornton, Chevreau, and Armstrong once again, as their lineup has remained rather consistent throughout the scrimmages. Braden White going down on strikes. Casey Robinson comes in here. He takes a ball. Casey Robinson 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. 1-0, your count. So far, Casey Robinson's 1 hit went through first base and second base, really right down the middle there. Tapped over in the deep part of the dirt and eventually rolled its way into shallow right. We'll see if Casey Robinson decides to play that same kind of baseball again, or if maybe he goes opposite field. But here, your count, I believe it's 2-1 here to Casey. As we said, Robinson 0 for 1 with the ground out to second. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss from Robinson. And actually 3 balls, 2 strikes. So up next will be a payoff pitch with 1 away. We counted down 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. In a 2-2 ball game between the Red Raiders and the Williamstown Braves at Crosley Field. Here's the kick and the pitch from the right hand. This one goes down low on Casey Robinson. He'll take for ball 4 and take the jog to first. As the second batter up here in the top of inning number 4 is on. So with 1 out, Malachi Kranz comes to the plate. He'll get the signal from head coach Stephen English that obviously means nothing to me, but hopefully means something over there to Kranz. 1 for 1 on the day he came around to score on a head first slide earlier on. Here, a tipped strike into the glove of the catcher, Mangalo. Mangalo doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him, though he has had a couple of pitches that have gone a little all over the place. Number 34, your pitcher here today for the Braves. Here's the next pitch to Kranz, that time inside on Kranz. And you saw the move, just try to evade that pitch, as that one almost ran in and got him. Malachi Kranz in a 1-1 count, 1 away, runner on first. Robinson back in with a head first slide as the throw from number 34. Try to pick him off, but Robinson back in safely. Kranz here in a righty-righty matchup. Pickoff attempt meant nothing, so here a swing and a miss for Malachi Kranz. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now to Kranz. 2-2 your score between the Braves and the Red Raiders. Robinson taking the lead off of first. Doesn't look like he's going to steal. Oh, he will, indeed. And he's going to take second. He's thinking about third, but the catcher gets back there in time. Robinson rounded second, and I was surprised he honestly took that chance to go to second because, well, he had a very conservative lead off of first, but just believed in the speed. Here, Kranz in a 2-2 count, evened up at 1 away. We'll see how Kranz plays it at the 2-2. Pitcher checks Casey Robinson at second. This pitch going to be up high. Good eye from the third baseman in today's game, Malachi Kranz. Kranz, a guy that hasn't had too many reps over at third. But he started off there on the 23rd just a couple days ago against Fairbanks. Made some good defensive plays, and now here today, same kind of thing. Here's a grounder over to first, easily handled by the first baseman. He'll call off the pitcher and just take it himself. Kearney with the ground out over at first. Kranz with the ground out from the offensive side. Wesley Holmes comes in. Wesley Holmes, number 18, once again here at the ballpark. They announce him as Wesley Lewis, not the case. Here, RBI opportunity for number 18. Here's the pitch to Holmes, and he'll take this one for strike 1 in there. 2 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. Been a defensive battle so far after that first inning. We'll see what happens here. And now here, this one's going to get away from the catcher, and Casey Robinson in there, easy standing. And Shaker Heights going to take the lead, 3-2, as the wild pitch brings in run 3. So the RBI opportunity knocked off for Wesley Holmes, maybe here. That can help out his at-bat a little bit and gives him less of a pressure situation. On the other side, Shaker Heights unable to get through. They had a runner over at third, and that was Armstrong. But unfortunately for them, with 2 away already, Miller was not able to get it done, so that remains 0-0 after 1 over at Duncan Field. Right here, Shaker just took the lead, 3-2 off the wild pitch. Wesley Holmes still here in a 1-1 count. 2 away now, no runners on after the wild pitch. Here, taking strike 2 is Wesley Holmes. Taking a big hack outside of the batter's box, but now he'll step back in, yellow batting gloves on hand. Here's the next offering. Did he go? They say no. Good hold that time from Holmes, evening up the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes to the junior. 0 for 1 so far. Wesley Holmes struck out last time up. And here he's going to continue to fight as this one's fouled back into the caging behind home plate. Pitcher asking for a new ball. Wesley Holmes just overlooking the situation. Eventually, it's going to get back to the mound. Number 34 just not content with the baseball in hand. So he asks for that one back. I believe the foul one is the one he wanted back. And now here, 2-2 pitch, 2 away. Here comes this one down low. Wesley Holmes works it full. Good taking from Wesley Holmes, and this will be worked all the way full, and a payoff pitch upcoming. Shaker Heights up a run now. Holmes looking to keep the inning alive. We'll see what comes here on the 3-2. This time upstairs, Holmes with a tough task. He'll draw the walk, though, and he'll take first.
Next up, number 3.
Wesley Holmes, clearly one of those guys that are able to draw the walks. Again, we saw it twice against North Ridgeville in that second scrimmage, and now here today, another case of that. So Wesley Holmes actually going to step off of first as time is called. Looks like a mound visit coming for the Braves, and as that goes down, we're going to take a moment. We'll just tell you the case of what's going down over there in Duncan Field, the softball game right now here in the top of the second. Again, if this game does end up closing early, but yeah, Scout Harvey continuing to not let anyone on the base paths. 1, 2, 3, 4 went down the batters. Looking to keep it that way, and already is the next batter in a 0-2 count. Harvey once again dominant out there on the mound against Hackettstown. And here Leo Pevnik swings through strike one out here at Crosley Field. Leo Pevnik, a guy that Shaker Heights is waiting for to get started through the bat. Here he's going to take strike two. 0-2, he falls into a hole. One runner on in the form of Wesley Lewis. A big-time walk that time, kept the inning alive. Pevnik, from the batting standpoint, has continued to hit it into either shallow left center, or just into the deeper part of the dirt out at the shortstop spot. So we'll see if that's a consistent thing, and if that is the case, during the regular season, some of the other high schools might continue to shift on the infield if that remains consistent. But here he goes opposite field over to the right side. That one's going to get down in right field. And Wesley Holmes rounding third. He's going to come in as the right fielder bobbles it. Holmes coming in, and it looks like he's just going to be met. He is out at home. Leo Pevnik with a phenomenal base knock over into right field. Wesley Holmes just unable to get there. And that's just an unfortunate ending to the top half of the fourth inning. We're already halfway through this one here at Crosley Field. Thank you very much for tuning in. 3-2, Shaker Heights leads, and it's up to this guy coming back out to the mound, Eli Stolfus, to keep it rolling and keep that one-run lead intact. We'll be right back with you. Vaughn Ullum on the call from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Eli Stolfus returning to the mound for the Red Raiders in that starting spot Started off a little shaky, allowing 2 runs to come across, but mainly it was the defensive errors that allowed them to. But now confidence has been back for the other 2 innings, and now here in the middle one, we'll see if he can throw up another donut onto the box score. Shaker Heights up 3-2. That one going to miss the mark as well. Another ball to the Braves batter. Out there in softball. Here in the second inning, it looks like Hackettstown is threatening. Here, another ball to the Braves batter. But yeah, here runners on second and third over there at the other field. Scout Harvey, however, does have 2 outs on Moran. So we'll see how that shapes out, or if Hackettstown able to claim their first lead. Here, a liner over to left. That one going to go foul and right into the pond. That's what we're saying. A lot of baseballs lost to these ponds. You'll wonder how many are genuinely down under the water. Because, I mean, so many schools, college, high school, come out here to the Ripken Experience. This one, a tapper over to second. O'Shea Howard with an easy grounder. A little bit low, but Casey Robinson able to handle her out. Number 1. Stolfus now up to 49 pitches, the half-century mark pitch to come.
Next up, number 3, Doug Pissarro.
Doug Pissarro now coming up to bat. Now here, over on the softball field, big-time pitch and a payoff pitch, 2 outs, 2 runs in scoring position. But right here, no runners on and an easy strike laid right in there by Eli Stolfus. Shaker up by 1, and then Eli Stolfus, but when he had that 1-run lead earlier, gave it away and actually gave Williamstown the lead. But here, he's getting more contact, but getting more ground outs. Here, throw from Aaron Neiman across the diamond in time for out number 2. And over there in softball, of course, Scout Harvey able to work out of it. So that one over there in the middle of the second, still scoreless. The Hackettstown Tigers really struggling to get anything going against Harvey. That one laid right in there from Eli Stolfus again. Eli Stolfus, one of those pitchers that, yes, he can get strikeouts, but he's mainly one of those guys to draw contact, and it's not good contact. So it allows just his infield to get some work and allows for some of those outs to come. Eli Stolfus, as we said in that game against Fairbanks, he topped his ERA, or I suppose his ERA was best at a 2.5. Here's the next pitch on a 1-1. That one missing the mark. 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs, no runners on. Eli Stolfus bested his ERA at a 2.5. It was really that final game against the Medina Bees, the GCC rival, that really hurt him. He had to come in a little early as Casey Robinson was too fatigued. Casey Robinson also playing it well. Here, ball 3 down low. Called to Davidson. But yeah, Eli Stolfus really came in, played phenomenal save situations as they need to be. They were just dominant. And here, strike 2 in there, right down the middle. Payoff pitch with 2 away, no runners on. And we'll see if Stolfus can throw up another 0 in back-to-back-to-back innings. And here comes the payoff. This one tapped foul and into the brick backstop. Assistant coach Jarrell Johnson was going to go get it. Instead, it's going to be a player of Williamstown. Squad from out in New Jersey, a team that, as we said, beat Mayfield, beat Chagrin Falls, 2 solid baseball squads comparable to Shaker Heights, but right now Shaker Heights in the lead by 1. Here's another 3-2 payoff pitch from Stolfus. Here a swing and another foul off, and does that make the pond? No, just rolled away from it. And now here, Eli Stolfus looking for the opportunity to shut this inning down, but this one going to be upstairs on Davidson. Walk issued and first runner on here in the bottom of the 4th, but once again, 2 away.
Next up, number 7, Jake Manganello.
Jake Mangarello now comes up. Manganello 0 for 1 on the day. And here it looks like still situation. Coxon with the throw down. O'Shea Howard with the tag. They call him safe. That was close. Oh, but it looks like Howard might not have had exactly the possession. Both head coaches creeping out of their positions and make sure the runner is all right. That's Davidson over there. Or excuse me, yes, Davidson, the runner. Looks like the first base coach is going to help him out and call time. He's going to make sure everything is all right. And now it looks like we're going to get more of a heftier time. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Three-two your score. Shaker Heights leading over the Williamstown Braves, a squad from out in New Jersey. Shaker Heights looking to get back in the win column here to finish off their scrimmages here. A big swing and miss from Manganello, the catcher for Williamstown. One strike on Manganello. Runner on second after the successful steal. Stolfus's pitch fouled up and over. Never know where that one might have landed. Probably in a pond. 3-2. Shaker with the lead, and it looks like already in a 2-strike hole is Manganello. Stolfus did allow that one runner on a quick walk. And with the steal, he's deeper in a scoring position. But here, this one flown out into center field. Landover almost missed it, but a bit of the wind must have caught it. Maybe the sun in his eyes. But he's able to do his job, and out in center field, he makes the grab. 3 outs now here. And that concludes the 4th inning. So now we tell you the story of the game right now in Shaker Heights here as we go into the final 3 innings. Shaker Heights baseball in the lead, 3-2. And the big time thing is all of their runs didn't just come from 1 inning. Their runs have been spread across the board. Of course, they have been minimal, only 1 run in 3 of these innings. But Shaker Heights has been able to differentiate some of these hits and build upon momentum throughout the game. And hopefully that's something that they can just do further as this game closes out. That's something that we didn't see from Fairbanks. In the Fairbanks game, Shaker Heights got 4 of their 5 runs, all in that first inning. After that, things kind of slowed down. Same thing for Fairbanks, 3 in the first inning. Things kind of slowed down. Shaker was still able to keep that 1-run lead intact till the very end, and they won 5-4. But here today, Shaker Heights needing to get this win to take their victory and move it into the regular season. This is their final scrimmage here in Myrtle Beach, but also just of their scrimmages in general. So we're going to see if Shaker Heights able to get their bats cooking once again here in the top of the 5th inning. Shaker softball, I believe, still tied unless something just changed. We'll tell you the story about that as I can just get my phone behind the camera. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. Hope you're enjoying this one as we are once again under some beautiful sunny conditions in Myrtle Beach. Oh, he is? No. Silver's going to be the man that leads things off for the Red Raiders. Due up Silver, Howard, Landover after Pevnik was your final out in the bottom half of the 3rd, or excuse me, the top half of the 4th. For the Red Raiders softball squad, through the first 2 innings, neither squad has been able to score one. Honestly, a really defensive battle out there over at Duncan Field. Shaker Heights with 1 hit, 1 defensive error. On the other side, Hackettstown unable to get anything going. Yes, they don't have a defensive error to their name, but also no hits, and that's kind of what you need. But against Scout Harvey again, she has been pitching just fine for her squad. As we've been saying, covering those games, she will really be a tough pitcher against some of the GCC schools. If weather holds up, we'll be calling that on Monday, their very first regular season game against Menor, but we'll see if that weather does indeed hold up. Silver with a swing and a miss here to start things off in the top of the 5th inning. Jeremy Silver 0 for 1 on the day. He did, however, get a sacrifice fly out off to left. that allowed Malachi Cranson to score. Right now, Shaker up 3-2 as we enter in the top of the fifth. Only one defensive error came off of O'Shea Howard, the man in the due-up position here. Jeremy Silver pops this one up into shallow right. Right fielder under it, calling everybody off, and he'll be able to make the grab out there. And Silver is retired. O'Shea Howard, last man in the lineup. As we said, 0 for 1 on the day. I believe it was a grounder that concluded his AB. And actually, I believe it concluded one of the innings. But here, Howard looking to take advantage of the new pitcher. Can you go over there and tell them it's a new pitcher? Just tell Mike Scott, because he'll tell somebody. Say it on Game Changer. They just need to change it. Oh, or tell him in the CLE shirt. Excuse me, we're back with it. O'Shea Howard, as we said, 0 for 1 here. He is in, I believe, a 1-0 count here. This one off the mark, in there, strike, taken to O'Shea Howard. And now here the pitcher, number 11, sends this one down low. Howard elects not to take the hack at it. O'Shea Howard, number 1 on the back of his jersey, however, deep into the batting order. Looking to be that number 1 base hit that can give Shaker Heights an extension of their lead. Of course, a home run can always help. Shaker Heights still yet to get one of those big-time hits. A lot of their hits have not gone for too much. And here, taking strike 2 is O'Shea Howard as well. Howard, the next offering to him, swings through on strike 3, dropped third strike, at least he thought for a moment, but now he'll move back over to the dugout. Is regardless, tag applied, but didn't exactly need it. So we flip sides of the order. We go back up to the top. Nate Landover back in, and he is, for the moment, 0 for 2. And now here, Landover taking this one for a ball. Shaker Heights, a team that just, as a whole, needed to get the bats going. They really have been struggling in the name of hits over the last games. But today, right now, they're actually winning the hit count 4-1 through the first 4. Except the one big hit for them was only a double coming from Leo Pevnik that didn't really amount to anything due to the fact that in getting that double, they tried to have Wesley Holmes advance from first all the way home, and he was tagged out at the plate. Here's the next pitch. This one down low and outside to Nate Landover. 3-0, I believe, now goes your count. Landover 0 for 2 on the strikeout. Shaker Heights still needing to limit strikeouts right now. All 3 of the guys at the top of the order have struck out once. Here, another strike called, though this time to Landover. It's actually going to be his first in the count. 3-1, more than likely didn't have the green light no matter what on the 3-0 pitch, but now here comes the 3-1. And here a tip back into the glove of the new catcher behind home plate. It's now number 2 instead of number 7. Now Landover set in the left-handed batter's box, payoff pitch with 2 away. And here a swing and a miss. There's strike 3. And the pitcher dominant out there on the mound, number 11, getting it done. And back-to-back Ks means back-to-back outs that bring us to the end of the top half of the 5th. So Shaker Heights, unfortunately, unable to extend that lead, but Eli Stolfus coming back to the mound for inning number 5, and we'll see if he's able to continue what he has laid onto these Braves hitters throughout the last 3 innings, throwing up some zeros and only allowing 1 hit on him. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you.
Leading off number 10, Christy Rienzi.
Rienzi, the batter now for Williamstown, the New Jersey school. As we said, trying to clean sweep squads from Northeast Ohio. And we'll see if they can do it on a comeback situation here. A big time swing and miss from number 10, the batter. In a lovely little pinstripe uniform for Williamstown. You're seeing that a lot more at the high school level, are the lovely pinstripe uniforms. Here's the next dealing from Stolfus. This one off the plate. Moves the count 1-1. Here actually at the Ripken Experience with all these different high schools taking on each other in Myrtle Beach. This pitch down low. It's going to get away from Michael Coxon, but no runners on. He'll remain comfortable. But yeah, here at the Ripken Experience, seeing all these different high school squads, a lot of sick uniforms used by some of these high schoolers. And what I mean by that is some of them go with all baby blue uniforms. Some have a whole navy uniforms. Next pitch from Stolfus. This one popped up sky high, maybe tipped a little bit of a cloud. And Aaron Neiman there to make the pop-up grab for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. But yeah, Shaker Heights, of course, clean look themselves. They got the new jerseys last year. They're back in red uniforms for an away look, black uniforms for the road look. In the switch over, they did lose a white jersey. Maybe that's something to come later on. Not this season, but maybe later on in years to come. Here, the next pitch from the right-handed dealer. That one a little up high. A little too up high for the umpire's liking. They're going to rule it a ball. But yeah, Shaker Heights, with the clean look in their uniforms, haven't really ever had the pinstripe look that a lot of the schools are going for these days. Here, a liner over the head of O'Shea Howard. And this one going to reach into center field. It'll be held to a single as Landever gets to it and recovers it quick. But there you go, a one-out single that time for the batter, number 21, Lopez. Drew Craig now the new batter, number 14. The Williamstown Braves beating Chagrin Falls in their first game, beating Mayfield in their next. And now here a throw from Eli Stolfus gets all the way out to the bullpen. Robinson going to try for the out over at second. The throw a little bit off the mark. Might not have gotten there in time either way. But the runner, Lopez, advances all the way up 90 feet and reaches second. So one away now, runner in scoring position. And now here Eli Stolfus needing to recover. And here's the first pitch behind the legs of the batter. Craig actually moving out in front further into the batter's box to evade that one. Luckily, everyone seems to be all right. Eli Stolfus just needing to finish things out, because with Tyler Zach supposed to go a couple of innings, more than likely this is going to be Stolfus's last. Here's the kick and the pitch from the right-handed dealer. Here a swing and a chopped one back into the caging behind home plate. Assistant coach Mike Scott going to go ahead and get it. Defensive lineup still the same out there for the Red Raiders. Throughout the scrimmages, it's been typically here in the later innings, specifically maybe in inning number 4, maybe number 5, you get the switch. But here today, they're remaining put with the outfield being from left to right, Pevnik, Landever, Silver, and from right to left on the infield at first, Robinson, Howard, and Neiman as the middle infielders, and Malachi Kranz still over there in the new position at third, though he's been handling it rather well. Made a good defensive play up against Fairbanks. This one fouled back into the caging as well. Moves it to 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count now with 1 away. Shaker up 3-2. Stolfus now here on the 2-2. Cut on and actually tapped back. And just barely got a piece of that one. It's got to be interesting if you're Williamstown, bouncing back to that idea posed earlier and beating all of the Ohio schools. Here the next pitch from Stolfus. This one coming on up the middle. That one might get through, and indeed it will. That's going to score their guy from second. Landever missed it over in center as well. That one's going to roll all the way. This one could be an inside the Parker. Landever with a tough throw all the way deep out in center. And here Robinson going to get it on the mound, and there you go. An inside the Parker reached by number 14. And it's going to be Williamstown taking the lead. It's now 4-3. Tough hit to give up there, but a huge mistake from Nate Landever out in center costed them the extra run. The RBI knock is one thing. The defensive error out there is another. Shaker Heights on the other side of things in the bottom of the third doing just fine. And they're up by 2 right now in a 2-0 affair. There's strike 1 called. RBIs coming from Emerson Miller out over at shortstop. Excuse me. I'm only seeing last names out here on Game Changer. So this one sent, hot shot out into the dugout over to the right side. The Williamstown guys heckling the batter, saying, come on, what are you doing? Friendly fire over here. Now here the next offering from Stolfus. Here another foul off to the right side. That one going to get out of play. So Shaker Heights now really struggling. Eli Stolfus, as we saw from Casey Robinson, struggled at the beginning, struggled at the start of their outing. Or struggled at the start, struggled at the end of their outing. And now here, this one, a liner in the left. That could get down, but Pevnik there in time makes the running grab. And there is out number 2.
Next up, number 27, Brady Kearney.
Kearney now the batter, a guy that's done rather all right on the defensive side so far. On the other side for softball, as we said, 2-0. That one laid right in for Stolfus. But over on the softball side, Armstrong back up to the plate, finds herself in an 0-2 count, now 1-2 count. But 2 away, no runners on. Shaker Heights has already thrown up 2 here in the 3rd inning. Or I suppose they're in the 3rd inning. 2 defensive errors already for Shaker, something they need to get down. Of course, that being the softball team. Here on the baseball squad, 3 errors. So also something that's going to be something to note. Eli Stolfus now sends this one in there. And we're evened up 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. No runners on. Easy situation for Stolfus to try and get out of this one without any more on there. Oh, just missed the mark. My goodness. That was close as could be. There, I suppose it was just a bit too outside. It definitely wasn't up high or down low. So now a payoff pitch with 2 away, and here a swing chopped into the glove of Michael Coxon. There's a K for Stolfus, and again, that will more than likely end his late afternoon game. It may not have ended it exactly perfect. Gives up 2 in the first, gives up 2 in the fifth. Shaker Heights' offense with 6 more outs to make up 1 run. Much less of a task they have to complete compared to the one they had to complete against General McLean, which they did not. But Shaker Heights here, hopefully with a little bit more momentum, they are in this game very, very clearly. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. Let's see what the Shaker offense can get cooking when we come back. Michael Coxon back in there. And he's a guy that Shaker Heights' bats could really use to get something going in the late stages of the ball game here. 6 more outs to work with. Michael Coxon going to swing through. Strike 1. And we'll see if they'll be able to make up for the 2 runs given up by Eli Stolfus in the last inning. Coxon here in an even 1-1 count. Next pitch to him, and here, this one sent up, and it looks like that one going to be out of play over to the left side. Coxon swinging for the trees out there in right field. 302 feet out there in right field, or excuse me, left field. Left field, foul pole, 302 feet away from home plate. Off to the right side, 320, and in dead center, 350. Here's the pitch over to Michael Coxon. Got out of the way of that one. Just in time, that one would have hit him, and though he would have been a base runner, might have hurt him a bit too much. Now here, this one, sky high, over foul. Off to the left side once again, Shaker Heights really needing Michael Coxon to come through with this one, and here he'll line one out in the center. Looks like that one going to be caught by the center fielder Davidson, and indeed it will be. It's all right. Good contact that time from Coxon. And now here, Aaron Neiman with strike 1 to his name. Aaron Neiman 1 for 2 on the day. Really could use a big-time knock out of him. Strike 1 swinging, and here he'll hack at another one. This one fouled off over to the left side. That one Going to just barely miss the pond over there out to the left side. Aaron Neiman now in a 2-strike hole. 0-2 your count, 1 away on number 2-1. Here in the top of the 6th, next pitch to Neiman. This one fouled back over to the left side once again. That one definitely, oh, never mind, just going to bounce out of the pond. Still lovely conditions out here in Shaker Heights, or excuse me, out here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for Shaker Heights. Shaker Heights not exactly used to this kind of weather. We're aware it was a little cold and maybe even snowing out there. Neiman lines this one out into shallow right. That one going to get down a base knock for Aaron Neiman. He'll go 2 for 3 on the day. And Neiman cooking things up out on offense, trying to get Shaker Heights back up on the scoreboard. Aaron Neiman now 2 hits. He's the only guy with multiple base hits. Braden White, a guy that needs to get going as well. 0 for 2 on the day with the 2 strikeouts. And here the first pitch down low for ball 1. Braden White stands in, set to take this next pitch on a 1-0 count. Neiman taking a decent lead off of first. Here's the pickoff attempt, and Neiman back in safely at first. Braden White getting set this time. Hopefully this will be actually the 1-0 pitch. And here's another pickoff attempt over to Neiman. And here in high school baseball, it doesn't matter how many times you throw it over, you can do it just as much as you like. In professional baseball, that rule has changed. Here, pitch down low. A lot of things changing in the name of professional baseball, while here it stays the same. Of course, in high school baseball, you're not really going to pressure your pitchers to a pitch count. I believe they made the bases bigger as well in the professional baseball. Don't believe it changed too much in high school baseball when that change was made. But of course, as well, you can pick off the runner as many times as you like, and you won't be giving up any sort of sacrifice. This time, it'll miss the mark again. Braden White took this one, almost escaped out of the catcher, but Neiman remained put over at first. We'll see here, 3 balls to Braden White on a 3-0. Here it comes. Braden White takes this one for strike 1, understandably so. Braden White, as we said, 0 for 2 on the day, 2 strikeouts. A guy last year was mainly home run or bust in a way of putting it, not exactly lightly, but that's how it was for Braden White. But here he's going to send one over to second. That one in there at second, trying to turn 2. White going to be safe at first. So Neiman out on the force at second. Braden White in there at first. So the only thing changing is that there will be 2 outs with a new runner at first. Shaker Heights from the softball standpoint up 4-0 at Duncan Field. Oh, now 4-1, as it looks like they just got their first base knock off of Harvey. Or excuse me, just got their first run off of Harvey. Now 3 defensive errors for Shaker baseball and softball. Now here, Casey Robinson looking for a big time knock to give Shaker Heights an edge. Casey Robinson has struggled here from the batter's box. And he really, a guy that is typically in the 5 spot, really needs to get going, especially behind your 3 and 4 guys that are typically your consistent hitters. Here, Braden White, of course, technically 0 for 3 on a fielder's choice, excuse me. Braden White taking the lead off of first, very conservative lead. Here's the pitch to Robinson, and this one fouled off over to the left side. They are really aiming for that pond at this point over to the left side. As we said, one pond just about everywhere, over to the right of the first baseline, to the left of the third baseline, and right behind home plate. And yes, those are indeed each different ponds. Right now, the one behind us gleaming in the sun. And here, a successful pickoff attempt of Braden White. And my goodness, Shaker Heights now down to 3 outs when their offense returns. Shaker Heights down by 1 as well. 4-3, Williamstown leads. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 6th. Shaker Heights now with a new man out on the mound, and that's Tyler Zach, number 22. Back out there after his performance in Fairbanks, or against Fairbanks here in Myrtle Beach. First pitch down low, misses the mark here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Shaker's offense only with 3 more outs to work with. And again, we're going to see if this is going to be an issue of Shaker Heights bats just not being able to counter the other squad. However, Hackettstown literally only with 2 hits. Or excuse me, not Hackettstown, Williamstown. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong box score. I was looking over at softball. Williamstown with 3 hits. Only 3 hits. It's Shaker's 3 defensive errors. Now we're getting a little bit of cloud cover, if you can't tell on the broadcast, as sun decides to hide behind one of the clouds out here in Myrtle Beach. Not many, but we're going to get a little bit of a chill now. This one just catching the outside half. That'll leave us up 2 balls, 2 strikes to the batter. And now at the 2-2 pitch, Tyler Zach, the righty, deals, and now this one off the mark. That will be outside of the outside half. Tyler Zach, a guy that struggled in the name of ERA last season, just above 6 in the name of his earned run average. However, he had some very, very dominant games. This one down low and inside on the batter, number 13. So he's going to be able to take first on a 6-pitch walk. Doug Pissarro, now the next batter. He's a righty, so a righty-righty matchup favoring the pitcher. Maybe we can get something to run in on him. But we'll see. Tyler Zach checks the runner over at first. Now he's showing bunt. Here, Michael Coxon able to tag him over at first, and they will pick him off right back. That was the way to end the last top half of the inning, but here, your first out in the bottom of the 6th inning is going to be a pickoff. Michael Coxon leaving the runner at first, taking him back to the dugout. There we go. 1-0 the count for the batter. This one missing the mark, strike one. Number 3, Pissarro, trying to give Shaker Heights, or excuse me, Williamstown a little bit of insurance, but right now Tyler Zach allowing Pissarro to take a little bit of a step back here, as now, after a walk, it's now a 2-1 count. And here a swing and a miss from Pissarro. Big time swing that time for Tyler Zach. That's something that will always give you a little bit of momentum. And we'll see if they're able to get your first K here from Tyler Zach. Here's the pitch, and here a swing, and this one's going to go over to Aaron Neiman. Here's a hard throw across the diamond. Will it be in time? It will be! Big time play from Aaron Neiman. Got the ground out on what was a tough defensive effort from the sophomore shortstop. And there you go. There is out number 2 for Tyler Zach in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now here, your next batter for the Braves, number 4. Here's the kick and the pitch, the first deal to him. This one popped up and just out of the reach of Andy Berglund, who took over there at second. And now here, this one thrown into Berglund, as that's going to be a 2-out single for number 4.
Next up, number 2, Aiden Craven.
Craven now the batter. Stands in the right-handed batter's box here. A pickoff, or actually a fake of a pickoff from Tyler Zach. Fake to pump of the arm over to first. Now here, this one popped up. Foul over to the right side. It's going to get out of play. Runner tried to steal second, but now he's going to take the jog back. Shaker Heights down 4-3 here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Shaker Heights only with 3 more outs to work with, and then Williamstown might be able to call it a game. Here, right back to the mound, Tyler Zach able to keep this one a 1-run ball game, and he's amping up the folks out there in the dugout in red jerseys. And now Shaker Heights' offense needs to get amped up as well, because again, only 3 more outs to work with, except a 1-run deficit. Definitely manageable. We'll see how this all shapes out to be in the 7th inning when we come back. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back. Casey Robinson to lead things off for the Red Raiders here in this one. 3 more outs to work with. Shaker Heights down by 1 here. They're winning by 2 over at the softball field. And if this one does wind up as a loss for Shaker Heights baseball here in the next 3 outs, we're going to go over there and cover the last couple of innings, because why not? We're out here in Myrtle Beach having a good time with some good old high school ball. This one in there, strike 1 on Casey Robinson. Hopefully that will not be the case, though, as Casey Robinson looking to get things going. And yes, indeed, he is back up now to the plate after it was a pickoff, a successful pickoff of Braden White over at first. Here Casey Robinson lines this one through, handled by the shortstop, and a phenomenal play over there at first. Going to result in the first out and a ground out. Good work that time by number 6, the shortstop, trying to take all hope out of the Red Raider bats. Malachi Kranz now up. Behind him would be Isaac Lazar, number 8. Malachi Kranz talking to me over the last couple of days, and he's someone that is wanting to swing the bat hard, and so he's someone that maybe could get something out of the park if he can. But here he's going to take ball 1 up high and a little outside as well. Malachi Kranz on the 1-0. He sends this one deep out in the left. Ranging back onto the elevated grass is the left fielder. And though that would have been nice, that one going to be a fly out off to left. Isaac Lazar now coming in, the freshman, taking his practice swings outside of the right-handed batter's box. And we'll see if he can keep the Red Raiders alive, or if this one will end up as a loss. And Williamstown able to scratch out one final win and go 3-0 in the Ripken, their time here at the Ripken Experience in Myrtle Beach. Shaker Heights trying to end this one on a win before they head back on the bus tomorrow to Shaker Heights, Ohio. We'll see. Isaac Lazar plays this one. 1-0 count with 2 away at Crosley Field. Here's the pitch to Isaac Lazar in there for strike 1. 1-1 count to Lazar. Number 8 on the back of his jersey, taking the number that Will Tagan had after he graduated. A phenomenal player. Isaac Lazar, of course, only a freshman, trying to be the same kind of player. This one outside, ball 2 to Isaac Lazar. And we will see if he can maybe even draw a walk that could give a little life over to the Red Raiders here. This one outside low for Isaac Lazar. 3-1 goes your count. 2 away. Isaac Lazar stands back in. New Balance cleats as well. Red jersey. Facing up against the pinstripe number 3. Here comes the pitch. And here a swing and a foul back. It's going to be a payoff pitch with 2 away. Big time stuff here for Isaac Lazar. Can keep the Red Raiders alive. Could be the final out in Myrtle Beach. Time to see what happens. Leo Pevnik would be the next man up. We'll see if we get there. 2 away. The payoff pitch, Shaker down 1. Here it comes. That one right down the pipe. Strike 3 called for Williamstown. And they are amped up here. A lot of hefty celebration here. Got to remember, it's only a scrimmage. But Williamstown goes 3-0 out here with a big-time comeback late in the game. They're going to win 4-3. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. Excuse me, I'm staring into the sun gleaming off of the pond behind you. But Shaker Heights here will go 1-2 on their Myrtle Beach trip for their scrimmages. They had some phenomenal plays, phenomenal at-bats, but however, the bats really still the main area of focus as we head back home. Shaker Heights has struggled to maintain consistent offense throughout all 7 innings, and here today they had their moments, indeed, and they had all 3 of their runs come in different innings, but in the end, they were still beaten by a team that had less hits than them, and that's something that also you got to look at from the defensive side, and Shaker Heights needs to clean up some of those defensive errors moving forward, like the tip-off of O'Shea Howard's glove, the play by Nate Landever out in center field that just went behind him. Things like that need to be cleaned up as we walk into the regular season. Now, their home opener will be next week against Lake Catholic. do be sure to tune in there. However, the weather may not be holding up next week. We're aware it's supposed to rain throughout the week. And so if that doesn't happen, I'm sure you'll hear from one of these players. If not, then just be sure to keep up on social medias of this team. But for now, we're actually going to bolt on over to Duncan Field and cover the last couple of innings here for the softball team at Myrtle Beach. And in just a couple minutes, be sure to tune in into that. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shaker Heights baseball will lose this one 4-3, but Shaker Heights softball doing rather well. Be sure to tune in just a moment.